Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Sam from Historic Travels, wishing all of you a good day. Now guys, I have a bit of a different kind of video for all of you today. You see, a couple of weeks ago, I had the privilege to be contacted by none other than the world famous Histobrick. Now, if you've never heard of them, essentially who Histobrick is, they are a company whose goal it is to recreate traditional classic ocean liners, military aircraft, military ships, Great Lakes freighters. Shoot, they have all kinds of stuff in Lego form. Now, they're not directly associated with Lego, but they use authentic Lego bricks to recreate all of these famous ships and military aircraft and all this cool stuff from history. And unlike what you see with other companies that use sorta Lego, but not really Lego products to recreate classic ships like the Titanic and stuff, well, those companies just basically try to give you a cheap knockoff that kinda looks like whatever you're building in brick form. However, that's not what Histobrick does. Histobrick uses these authentic Lego products to essentially try to create these beautiful detailed models of whatever you're building. Now this Histobrick kit you see right here, this one is the Lusitania. Now this was not sponsored. I actually bought this with my own money probably around a year ago, give or take, and I was very impressed by the level of detail and quality that he was able to put into building the Lusitania. So when he contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested in doing a sponsorship video for him, I absolutely said yes. So what he wanted to do was he sent me another Histobrick model. It is this one right here, the RMS Mauretania, the sister ship to the Lusitania. So I was very happy to get this so I could have the Canard sisters in my collection. And he basically wanted me to do a review of it. He wanted me to build the ship and just talk about my thoughts and then share it with all of you guys. Now, real quick, since we do have the completed product right here, you can see how much detail he was able to put into this. I mean, it really does look like the Mauritania. I mean, if I didn't know better, I'd say this was an official Lego product. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing how he nailed the details on this and in such a small form. So guys, you know what? With the intro out of the way, let's now get into this review of the Histobrick Mauretania. Okay, so there's one last quick thing we need to go over real quick before we jump into the review, and that is, so I originally received the Mauretania kit a couple of weeks ago, right before I was due to go on a short little vacation. And my idea was that I would bring the Histobrick kit out with me, and then I would build it while I was on vacation, and then I would just release the video then. So what that means is I did start on working on the kit while I was on vacation, and then things happened. I got busy. I made a mistake while I was building it that I didn't discover until much later, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But anyway, some stuff happened, and I started it while I was on vacation, and then I finished it after I got home. So in this video, you're gonna see me jumping back and forth between where I was when I was on vacation and back home in my original studio as I talk about things. Okay, well with that out of the way, let's get into it. Okay, so I haven't opened this yet. The only thing I did do is I just took a pair of scissors and I just cut the Histobrick seal right here. So let's go ahead and get into it. So as you can see, this product comes in this really nice wood Histobrick case, extremely high quality, extremely impressed. This is absolutely unbelievable. And now the ultimate question is, how do I open it? I think I just do this, or it doesn't, it slides, okay, I got it. It slides, just like that. Yes, past Sam, it slides. How could you not know that? You literally bought one of these before. Okay, so with that removed, okay, so we've got all of our pieces right here in these really nice bags. Everything's easily identified and spread out. Just put these here. Oh, cool. And we have some pieces here that actually have like the ship's name, Mauritania, and all that on here. That is really cool. Awesome detail. All the Lego pieces. And then right here is the instruction guide. So Histobrick. This is extremely nice quality, designed by Tom. So he's the guy who runs Histobrick. And you have a brief little history of the RMS Mauretania right here. Now in the past, and I don't know if he did it for this kit because this is a relatively new kit, Tom Linsky over at his YouTube channel, Part-Time Explorer, he would write out the history of the ships and he would put that in these, and Tom from Histobrick would put what Tom Linsky wrote into these instruction guides. I don't know if he had anything to do with this one, but still, that's just a cool little piece of history about Histobrick and everything. And okay, well, hey, that basically does it for the unboxing, so let's actually get into building the thing. And cue build time lapse with awesome music in the background. Okay, so I'm about 45, 50 minutes into the build, and I just finished up step 11, so I am on step 12 now. And this is what I've got for everything that I've done. Everything matches up exactly with how everything is pictured. It should look in the instructions. Now, the instructions are extremely well laid out. Everything is very easy to understand and everything. The only reason that I think this is taking me a little bit longer than what I would normally expect is just how the pieces, hang on, I'll show you. Basically just how the pieces are kind of put in their individual bags and everything in these Histobrick kits. So I mean, everything is color organized. So you got white, you got red, you got black and everything, and then all the miscellaneous pieces here. So the only issue that I have with it, when it's not really an issue, it's just an observation when you build one of these against a regular Lego kit, where regular Lego kits have bags numbered and everything, and then you just work on each bag at a time. This doesn't have that. All of these are in color coordinated bags like you saw at the beginning of the video. So because of that, it takes a little bit of time to find all of the pieces you're looking for. But that's just kind of that's a very small little issue. It's just something to keep in mind when you go into this. I would just call it something to know more than an issue. But yeah, keep that in mind. Take your time, work hard, and pay attention to all the details, and you'll be good to go. And this issue will correct itself as you get further into the build and there's less pieces you have to deal with. Officially about 3 hours into the build, and remember guys, I'm not a big Lego guy. I don't do these a lot and everything, so I'm sure there's other people who could build this faster, but overall it's been a pretty smooth process. It is a complicated build, so if you're younger you would probably want to have a parent or something help you with the fine details of it, but honestly overall, as long as you follow the instructions and everything is pretty straightforward. I've got the funnel assembly completed. That's super cool. And I've got the ship's rudder. So this wrong pass, Sam. That is not the Mauritania's rudder. So what I thought was the rudder at that part of the video was essentially the assembly that makes up the bow of the Mauritania on the kit. You can see where these pieces can move if you want them to. So because of that, I mistakenly thought it was the Mauritania's rudder. The real rudder, as I found out later, is actually this piece right here and how it sets up right there. So I just got a little confused at that part of the video. Okay, back to it. we're starting to see the actual outline of the ship. You can see the lower part starting to take shape right here. Okay, I gotta do another quick interruption. So what you just saw in that previous footage, well, I didn't know it at the time, but remember how earlier in this video I said that I made a pretty big mistake when I was building the Mauritania? Well, in what you just saw, that's where it happened. So when I was assembling the bow and midship part of the Mauritania together, more specifically, it's right around steps 57, 58, 59, you see they're circled right there. Well, I accidentally put the bricks on that assemble the two pieces together one brick too far over. So because of that, if you look at that footage, you'll see a tiny hole underneath the Mauritania's hull, like on the bottom of the ship. That's not supposed to be there. So I accidentally moved this entire front assembly one brick forward. However, it didn't become apparent to me until like steps 170 or step 180, because there's 300 steps involved in building the Mauritania, or roughly 300 steps, not 300 steps. So I didn't see the problem until I made it to step 180, and that really came back to bite me later. So if you buy this kit and you are working on it, be very careful when you're assembling the bow and the midship parts of the Mauritania together so you don't make the same mistake. And look at this. You are really starting to see the Mauritania come into shape here. This is, it's like I told you, I have the most fun with Legos when I get to this point and I'm actually seeing the ship come into being. You know, it's not just a bunch of loose parts on the ground. I actually see what I'm building and I can see it coming into shape. And this is so cool. So cool. And right here, we've got some of the upper parts of the Mauritania all built here. And you know you did it right so you've got your incomplete ship right here. You got what you just put together, and then everything should, if I did it right, simply snap into place. Maybe, and voila, just like that. Boom. Okay, so everything that I just built is now attached to the Mauritania. Everything fit perfectly. That's how you know you did it right, because if this didn't fit, then you'd spend a lot of time going back and trying to figure out what the heck you did wrong, and you would usually have to just take apart everything and rebuild it, which is not fun. I think you see where this is going. So it's right around here where I realized that I made a mistake somewhere. So as you can see from this footage that I'm showing you, I'm trying to assemble this top part of the Mauritania with this other part, but as you can plainly see, there's a little bit of space in between the part that I'm trying to put on and the completed part of the ship. And at the time, I could not figure out why these pieces weren't lining up correctly. Although in my head, I was thinking I probably made a mistake somewhere. So I reached out to Tom over at Histobrick and asked him what was going on. And he said that I think you made an error somewhere in the step 50s. Like, so somewhere right around there where you assemble the bow part and the midship part together, I think you made an error somewhere around there. So I went back to the drawing board, went all the way back, and keep in mind, I'm on step like 180 at this point, so I was definitely worried. And sure enough, I found the problem. And I'm like, oh gosh. And this is why I stress to you all, be very careful when you're at this part of the build, because the way that the Mauritania is put together, if you mess up that step, you basically have to disassemble the ship, and at least up to that point, and start over, because you can't get to it without taking huge chunks of the ship off. And because of that space, it basically threw off the entire build. So I'm like, I could not believe that I made that mistake. So anyway, thanks Tom for helping me fine tune that and figure out where my error was and anything. So that's another reason why there was a delay in getting this video up, was because I had to do what I was afraid of. I had to take apart the Mauritania and rebuild it from scratch. Now, it wasn't all that bad. I just waited to do it when I got home, and I got my brother, who is an awesome Lego builder, thanks so much, bro, to help me do it, and yeah, we got it done pretty quick. But yeah, once we did that and I corrected the mistake and everything, the ship came out very well. As you can see, it is a beautiful model of the Mauritania. I absolutely recommend Histobrick, like 10 out of 10. The build quality and the customer support that Tom tries to do for all of his customers, you know, to make sure they have a great experience with it. Oh, and if you do end up missing any parts with your kit, you let him know and he'll immediately send them out to you. You see, that's another thing about Histobrick. He doesn't have a machine that assembles all these kits like what main Lego does, like the Lego Corporation. He assembles all of these kits by hand, so he builds these kits by hand. I mean, it's absolutely incredible what he does. But anyway, guys, that is my review of the Histobrick Mauritania. It's a 10 out of 10 set. As I said, it's a little bit technical to build, so if you're like a younger kid or something, you should probably have a parent help you build it, because there are some pieces you have to be very careful when you're assembling. But overall, guys, 10 out of 10, highly recommend them. And if you would like to purchase a Histobrick for yourself, there is a link to their website in the description below. Oh, and they also have a YouTube channel. I'll have a link to that in the description as well. Please go and subscribe to him. He does incredible work. And guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks to our Captain level Patreon supporter, Tammy Lee. Thank you so much for all the support.